You're about to step on board the nicest Pacifica in the world, a boat that I have fished for over 1,000 hours on, and a boat that has been repowered, painted, and is the definition of turnkey. So without further ado, I present to you the 50 Pacifica Bullpen. Now, if you spend any time fishing around Southern California or Cabo, there's a very good chance you've seen this boat on the water. But for those of you that have never had the chance to get up close and personal, now is your opportunity as she comes to market here in Puerto Los Cabos. Since I've fished this boat, I can attest to the form and function that it has to offer and the open checkbook program it's been on for the last decade or so. Since we're already here on the dock, let me point out some exterior cosmetic items that are very important to note. As I already mentioned, the boat has been repainted, and we're talking from the boot stripe to the house, all the way up to the non-skid, including fresh bottom paint and also prop speed. So cosmetically, the boat is in phenomenal condition, and we couldn't call this a true West Coast icon if it wasn't outlined in all stainless steel. So all the way from the pulpit to where the cockpit begins, you have a full stainless steel rail. And as you look around, you'll see the rod holders are stainless, the ladder, the stanchions for the bimini top and radar arch. All that is super high grade stainless and really just makes the boat pop and complements the shiny paint very, very well. Going back to the bow, it is not uncommon to see this boat have 4 or 5 friends on the bow, all bent at the same time on striped marlin. There's plenty of room up here to do that. You have a full pulpit with the stanchion for your toes so you can get locked in if you need to. A large West Coast style bow bait tank holds plenty of mackerel. So you come up here, you throw, you get bit, your buddy cycles in, does the same thing, and it's one big party up here most of the time on the bullpen. If you enjoy fishing jigs, you'll appreciate how well this boat gets bit. So whether you want to fish on the bow or the stern, this is a great platform. One other item up here that makes this boat unique is the fact that there's actually a full fiberglass skiff here on the bow. Instead of having an inflatable, this owner has gone with a Boston Whaler 110 Sport with a 25 horsepower Yamaha. What's been really fun about having that up on the bow is, so we do a day of marlin fishing, then we go to Catalina, we're on the mooring, we drop the skiff, and then we do a sundowner session of calico bass or hoop netting when it's in season. Or you're in Mag Bay, say you want to take a day off or it's an oil change day, you do your work, you drop the skiff, and now you're fishing mangroves. So to have a full Boston Whaler up here just adds to the fun, the adventure that you can have on this boat. And of course, there's the davit to complement it. Usually we would hop into the cockpit next. However, given how impeccably clean the engine room is, I think we should go there next because I really want to show off the new machinery that powers this boat. So obviously we're down here in the belly of the beast on board the bullpen. And the first thing you notice when you come down is the pair of 2021 Cummins QSM-11s. They're ZF gears of the same vintage mounted to the motors. When these were getting replaced, the owner also decided to replace both generators. So forward of the mains is a pair of Cummins Onan 17 kW gensets. And then as you really start to look around the engine room, you realize that outside of the mechanical space, everything else has been touched and upgraded too, from the piping and the hosing, the ducting, the exhaust system. Pretty much everything you can see has been brought to modern day standards. Let's talk fuel. So behind me is the transfer area. This boat holds over 1,200 gallons across 4 tanks. You have forward and aft tanks so you can distribute weight as you need, and you can do that here, and there's another fuel transfer under the galley stairs. There's an ice chipper here in the corner for the cockpit, a large inverter system over in the corner. Of course, there's a water maker. Pretty much anything you would expect from a modern day sport fisher, this boat has. This boat is ready to go to Mag Bay tomorrow, ready to go back up to, say, Southern California as well. But just given the cleanliness and the attention detail and the maintenance, no joke, you could go down here, do work with a collared shirt on because you're not going to get messy, you're not going to get dirty. It's a pleasure being down here, and I think you'll appreciate it too if you come on board and check out the boat. So let's jump over to the cockpit, and I want to highlight some of the fishing nuances and upgrades that have been done there. As you get in the cockpit, the first thing you notice is just how large this area really is. And again, I mentioned it on the bow where you can have 4 or 5 people up there fishing. We have done that here in the cockpit as well, and there's plenty of space for everyone. No one's bumping shoulders or elbows or anything like that. Another thing often overlooked is lazarette access and storage space. This entire area can be removed So you can get down inside, you can keep storage items, but then you can also get to your running gear very, very easily. Or if you don't want to, say, remove this large piece, you can just remove either small section and get to the area that you need. It makes it much more manageable. And then of course you have everything you would expect. You have tackle storage here, a large West Coast bait tank that lives in this bulkhead. Something you can't see as you're just walking around is running under here is a tube for an ice chipper discharge. So while this boat doesn't have a fish hold, what we do is we put a kill bag here, and you just have the tube dump right into the kill bag, and next thing you know, your kill bag's full of ice. You can throw your fish in it and you're good to go. I kind of like not having a fish box because at the end of the day, it makes cleanup much easier. So all you have to do is put the kill bag on the dock, spray it out, and you're done. And then of course, as you look around, as I mentioned earlier, stainless steel appointments everywhere, rod holders, ladder, pretty much everywhere you look, the boat sparkles. Let's go up to the bridge, state-of-the-art Garmin electronics, some really cool seating setup, especially for those of you that enjoy glassing for striped marlin. Let's talk seating up here in the bridge. So as you come up the ladder, you're greeted with this large bench seat. This serves multiple functions. First and foremost, it's a great spot for friends and family just to hang out and to talk. But secondly, say you're in a competitive setting, tournament-wise, or you're just fishing hardcore recreationally, you can have two people sitting right here. One guy watching the jigs with just their eyes to make sure that you can deploy a drop back when that time comes. And then next to them can be someone in gyros, kind of glassing out the back to make sure nothing was missed by the gyro guys here in front. As we move forward, you'll find 3 sea furniture helm chairs, and of course, stainless steel appointments on those as well. But when we would fish, we'd put 3 guys up here, all with gyros, covering different angles. So pretty much you can have full coverage from here to here, and hopefully you're not missing any of those tailors or sleepers. And then as you look at the helm, it's back to form and function. Very simple layout, but it works. State-of-the-art Garmin, zip wake, and electronic engine controls. Of course, you have electronic engine throttle controls as well. And then there's a remote system that's wired under the dash that can be brought out, and it lives there in the aft corner, so that when you're actively fishing and you need to back down on fish, you don't have to do it from here. You can do it from the aft part of the Flybridge, looking aft so you feel like you're part of the action and you can see what's going on. Now let's go take a look at the Salon and the interior appointments. As you enter the interior, you'll see that the boat has retained its classic interior feel while benefiting from modern day upgrades. First of which is an over-under sub-zero refrigeration unit built in here in the starboard corner. As we go through, you're going to see there's a lot of freezer space and refrigeration space, which was used for going to Mag Bay and doing the journey from Southern California to Cabo. And then you cannot miss these custom sea furniture couches that have ample storage below, because you can never have enough space for your fishing gear. So these are stuffed full of jigs, lures, hooks. And then you have an ottoman as well that can be moved about and that has storage in it. Center of the salon floor is your engine room access. Everything is carpeted and soundproofed very well. And then of course there's a runner here that you can put down to make sure this carpet stays in great condition. And then we come over here to the port side of the salon. And again, there's 2 more sub-zero refrigeration drawers and 2 more sub-zero freezer drawers. And then over here is just more storage. You can put your paperwork, extra tools, things like that. As you drop down into the galley, you'll find yet another new refrigerator and freezer and the other appointments that you would expect from a galley on a vessel of this caliber. And then as you move forward into the 2-head, 2-stateroom layout, you'll find your master to port that has an ensuite head. Both heads have upgraded Dometic macerator toilets. And then as you leave the master, you will be greeted with the day head, which also has its own shower. And then all the way forward is a bunk room with 3 bunks, 2 over under, 1 single. The bunks also have hanging rod storage, as does in the salon. As we wrap up the walkthrough on the nicest Pacifica in the world, I encourage you to get on a plane and come down to Puerto Los Cabos and look at this boat firsthand so you can really appreciate the attention to detail and quality that I described in this video. And we're here to help as this boat transitions from its current program into yours. So give me a call at 760-815-8866 and we'll get you on board this boat today.